Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be back on Rusty the Supercab truck. I know it's been a while. I've had some other projects going on here, but we're finally getting back on it today. We're going to be working on the rear floor pan for the truck. I have got a sheet of metal, like a big flat sheet, I think of 18 or 20 gauge steel, that we're just going to be fabricating an entire rear floor pan for the truck. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to take you over here to the truck and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so today, like I said, we're going to be working back here in the back of the Supercab, as we've got most of the front up here pretty good shape for right now. I mean, I've got a little bit of some smoothing out on some edges and stuff that I've not got finished, you know, and as far as cab corners and stuff go, you know, we got that cab corner there put in. It's still got to be ground down too, because I have had like no time to work on this truck since the last video I put out on it. This cab corner over here is looking pretty good. Same way, it just needs a little bit of body work done on it, but we'll tackle all that there at the same time whenever we get ready for that kind of stuff. So for this video here, guys, I just cleaned all the metal that we'd had piled up back here out of the truck, and I cut our crossbar that was back here out. And I couldn't find nobody online or on the internet or anything that makes a factory floor pan for the back of one of these trucks here. So I have got I think it's a 4 foot by 6 or 7, 8 foot sheet of, I think it's either 20 or 18 gauge steel. I'm not for sure. I know it's one of the two though. To make all this back here by hand, I have a few metal working tools. I got a brake and a bead roller, so I will be able to put beads in it for strength. So that's the plan for that. That way I don't get popping and stuff like that. I don't know how far we'll get back here in this video. I hope to get a 4 put back here, but I don't know what it's going to look like whenever I cut this out. So we could be having to repair a lot of stuff underneath, you know, like cross members and stuff like that, if I can get to it pretty easy once I cut this rear floor pan out. And I have got a wasper in my truck. Oh well, hopefully he leaves us alone. He's over there. He's hiding now. Oh well, he's not coming back out. Oh, there he goes. Never mind. Yep, there he is. You can see. So hopefully he leaves us alone and goes on. Don't know if I'm gonna make it at a 1 piece or 2 pieces. That's something we'll just have to tackle whenever we get there. And then I'm also gonna try to incorporate this bend here in with the new floor pan there, so that way I can get rid of all of this rust that's here, as you guys can see there. Like I said, whenever I cut this floor pan here out, who knows what the underneath of it's going to look like. We could have a lot of fixing to do under there, and that may be what this video's over. But first off, back here is very, very dirty, and I don't want to cut all this out and get it in the floor and get flat tires on anything that comes in here after this leaves. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to sweep as much of this like loose scale dirt and rust here out as I can, and try to get all these spark shavings and stuff like that out as well, just to try to keep that from falling off on the trailer and the floor, guys. So I'm going to get to sweeping that there, and then after I get done sweeping it all out here. Oh, our wasper friend just left. But after I get done sweeping everything out in here, I'm going to evaluate how I'm going to cut it out. I don't know if I'm going to cut it all out at the same time, or if I'm going to go in baby steps or whatever. I'm not for sure how that's going to come out just yet, but I'm going to get to sweeping. Okay, so I have been sitting out here thinking about how I want to do some stuff for the past 20 or 30 minutes or so. So I've come up with an idea for my rear interior. The stock door panels for the back that are in the back, mine are bad. I'm not going to be able to reuse them. And I'm not 100% a big fan of the stock door panels. So my idea is I'm going to try to either have somebody make me some custom ones, or I'm going to make me some custom rear panels to go, you know, like the wraparound panels that do all of this here. So with that being said, I want my carpet that I'm going to put in the truck to come up even here. So I don't think having to worry about factory body lines and anything like that is going to be a huge problem. So my idea for how I'm going to section this rear floor pan is one big main section here that's going to go from this crease here. You know, the crease goes all the way down across there. Cut that out, follow this crease line here to there, and then follow that crease line there and cut all that out. And then make that all out of one big piece of metal. Then my second piece of metal, I'm gonna start here and cut here and go all the way down and come up, come over, come back, and cut all that there out, make that a second piece of metal there. And then for a third piece of metal, well, I have two of these, so it'll be a third and a fourth piece, is I'm going to come here and come over and make a section to go right here in the door and square this off to where these got nice rounded edges like this here. I don't have nothing to really make these rounded edges, and like how this here is round and all that. I'm just gonna take and square these off here, because like I said, that's what I was worried about there with factory door panels and not working, but I don't think I'm gonna use them, so it won't be a big deal. I can kind of fabricate everything back here kind of how I want it, geared towards more what I'm wanting. So there's the plan for now. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to start cutting out the first section of metal. I'm probably only going to do it one section at a time. That way I don't get ahead of myself and mess something up. So like I said, the first cut I'm going to make is just along this seam line here, across over, all the way back over here, down through here, and then cutting back there across there. So I'm going to get to cutting, guys. So I'll see you back whenever I get finished. Okay, hopefully you guys can see me okay up there. I've got my roof mount back on. I've talked to several people that I know that watch my videos in person. They say that they really like the roof mount. So guys, let me know in the comments. I know I've asked this a couple of times. Just let me know in the comments if you like the roof mount like this here. I think it works good. It's easy for me to put up there, and hopefully the lighting's not terrible on me. So if you guys could just let me know in the comments if you like the roof mount or not, it would mean a lot to me and help me provide better content for you guys. But with that being said there, I'm going to get to cutting on the floor pan. All right, it is now several hours later. I have finally got the floor pan entirely cut out in here. A lot of beating, a lot of thrashing, but it's finally out. So as you guys can see here, looks pretty good there. I am going to change my approach just a little bit. I am not going to completely take all of this here out. I'm just going to take out the bad and cut probably whatever height this here is off and down. And then I'll show you guys later on in the video what I'm going to do back there. The rest of the plan there is all still the same. I'm just no longer going to take that whole entire piece there out. Also, my cross member here looks super good. Like, the shape it's in is super good. So, no fixing there. So, that's awesome. Both sides of whatever this piece here is, I guess this is inner rocker. They both look really good. So I'll just clean those up. I'll paint those with that Krylon Tough Coat paint that's supposed to be a rust preventative after I clean it out, of course, because it has got just all kinds of crud in it. And then after I get all that cleaned out there, which will be tomorrow because I'm fixing to go in for tonight. But we will be coming back, or I will be coming back out here one day this week and working back on the truck again, trying to get this 4-pan here put in. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys next day. Okay, so it is a couple days later, and I just got out here to work on the Supercab truck again. So the first thing we're going to be tackling today is I've got to clean this cross member here out, all the crud that's down in there. And then I've got to grind all of these rivets here off there. And then I'm going to try to clean up all the rust that's on this piece here. I've got to re-weld it here to this inner rocker where this here is broke. So I've got to re-weld it here. And then after that, I get all that there done, I'm going to go ahead and put that Krylon Tough Coat paint on there, that rust preventative paint down on there to keep it from rusting. I'm going to spray this cross member and this on both sides of the truck there to ensure that it doesn't rust further for later on down the road. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and get the grinder and grind it off first, and I'm going to clean it out and then get to painting. Alright, so we've got our cross member here and the backs of the inner rockers there all cleaned up, and I fixed this spot here. I just re-welded it back to the inner rocker. So now it's going to be time for our Krylon Tough Coat paint to go on there and make that look shiny brand new. Okay guys, so I have got the center cross member here painted up. Looks pretty good, you know, I mean, just for a protective coating, looks pretty good. So now the next thing I'm going to do before we get to start making our actual pieces is I'm going to go ahead and cut this here off, because my idea with this back piece here is I'm going to cut down and cut this in the middle here, and we're going to tie in a new piece here, and almost like a piece of angle iron, we're going to make an L here, so that way the L, you know, will come down to where I want this floor here to lay at, so that way I'll have something to lay on top of and weld to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I think it's 1.5 inches down from up here, I think is my measurement I come up with. So I'm just going to come down 1.5 inches mark, because that's going to get all of the bad out of it, should. So I'm going to mark down 1.5 inches on this piece here. Go ahead and make a clean cut all the way from one side to the other. And then we'll work on fabricating out our L there. Because I got a sheet metal brake, like I said earlier. So I should be able to break it and make a nice even bend. But that's what the plan is for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get my marker, my tape measure, and my straight edge out. And go ahead and mark this piece here. And get to cutting it off. All right, so I've got the strip there cut off the back now. So everything else that's left is still good metal. So now the next thing is going to be making the other piece for this here. So I'm probably gonna make it a 3-inch strip. So it'll be 1.5 inches on both sides of the brake, because like I said, I cut 1.5 inches off of the back here, so I'll have 1.5 inches lip underneath. So that way I can make a good even brake, just break it right down the center there. It'll make it easy to weld up. I'm not sure how wide the truck is right now. So I have to measure how wide the truck is. So it'll be however wide the truck is by 3 inches, weld that in there. Well, I'm gonna have to break it and then weld it in there. All right, so it is the next day again. And I've got my 2 pieces of metal here cut for the strip across the back. Had to do it in 2 pieces because the cab, what I'm needing the piece of metal for. So like the strip here that goes along the back right there is 5.5 foot wide, and we have a 5 foot brake. So it's okay. I'm just gonna have to make it out of 2 pieces, which is no big deal. So I've got a 4 foot piece and about a 1.5-foot piece. I've already got them marked, split in half for the brake. So I'm fixing to take them over here to the brake. I just wanted to show you guys what I got going on with the brake setup here. It's buried back in the corner. I'm sure you guys have seen it in my videos in the background, but we've got our brake here, and this is kind of a homemade brake that my dad made a long time ago, and my metal's not cooperating. So it got 2 screws on each side here, and I'm just going to slide my piece of metal here to the line that I want. So like that right there, we're just lining it up. We screw it down here. Screw it down. Which, I mean, this piece of metal isn't super critical, but it's still critical enough that I want it to still look good. So screw this side here down. Get them good and tight. Both sides, we can still see our line there. Is where we want it. It looks good. So then we just grab our handle here, pick up, and just want to slide. So I ain't got it tight enough. Well, you're gonna have to move it again here. Sorry guys, I'm having to reset the piece. Now I've got it reset, so we're going to get it tighter this time. Really going to crank it down so that way it doesn't move this go around. We're going to crank this side down. Okay. So now I should have it good and tight there. And hopefully it'll bend it this time. And it's still wanting to slide it. Okay, so the metal is too thick for the brake, so we are going to have to improvise. So I've got my metal here clamped down to this L on the trailer here. So all I'm gonna do to break it is I've kind of already got a crease here. And I'm just gonna take a hammer here, like this here. Actually, I'm not gonna use this one because I've got body hammers I'll use. That way it don't ding real bad. I'm just gonna take a hammer and beat it down because that's a 90 and I need a 90. So I'll just use a hammer to beat that down around. I'm gonna do the same thing with the big piece here, except for I'm gonna do it across the front of the trailer just because it's longer. So that right there's how I'm gonna bend my metal, guys. Whenever I get it bent, we'll mock it up inside and I'll show you what I'm working with. All right, so it is several weeks later that I'm just now getting back on the Supercab truck. I've got my pieces of metal here cut. I've got 2 big ones and 1 small one here. That's just how I had to do it to get it to work out to go back here. So the next thing that's in order we have to do is I got to tack these pieces here up. I've got a measurement of how low the floor needs to be, so I got to get all these to the height that I want, and once I get them to the height I want, I got to tack them in here, and then I'll probably just leave them tacked up that way until I get my actual floor pan put in here, because once I get the actual floor pan put in here, I can lay it down, make sure it gets everything nice and level, make sure the floor pan looks good, and then we can weld everything up then, so that way I don't get too carried away with myself welding it all up and having to cut it all back out and all that. I just a lot easier to cut tacks. The bending process I did was not the greatest. Do not advise doing that, but it's all I had. So right now, like I said, I'm going to take these and get my depth right and then tack these up. And then after that, guys, we'll be moving on to making the actual floor pan. Okay guys, so now I've got my little L pieces here all tacked into place. They fit up pretty nice there. They're a little bit long. They're like 2 3/4 inches instead of the 2.5 inches, but I don't think it's gonna, a 1/4 inch is gonna matter that bad, because the floor pan will still lay where it needs to because of these side supports here that are factory, and those are the right height there. So that right there will just be like a little bit extra support there. Like I said, it's not gonna matter that much. I have a piece of carpet over it anyways. So guys, that right there's got the back piece there done. Like I said, it's all just tacked together there. So we'll weld it fully whenever I get the actual floor pan here in there. Which, speaking of that, that is the next thing we got to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some measurements of the big center section here. I'm not including this stuff here. And then we'll go over here to my big piece of metal and get it cut out.
But I don't think it's right.
Yeah, that's right. That looks good.
Okay.
Making it a little bit thicker.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get down all over the house.
Keep your rock more flat. Yep, like that. See?
Yeah.
And we're teaching Abby how to use the grinder. She's never used one before, and she's learning, and she's doing a good job. But we got the floor pan here all cut out here. I'm gonna have to drill a couple holes here for a couple pieces that are on the cross member there that are popped up. I'm gonna drill a hole out for those, that way they don't make a bulge in our floor pan here. Had to taper my edges here on the floor pan. You know, you can see where we tapered it in. That's just to get it to fit right. The floor pan looks amazing down in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these holes here out, guys. I got 2 of them I gotta drill out. I just gonna drill them with step bit. And then after we get these holes here drilled, I'll mock the floor pan back up, and I'll come back and show you guys what the floor pan looks like all mocked up in the truck there. And then we'll be moving on from there.
So we just got done mocking up the floorboard, and we got the seat belt holes drilled through the metal. So there's the holes for the seat belt, and then here is our piece of metal for the floorboard. Okay, now we're fixing to weld the floorboard in.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Here Blake is with the welder.
Yeah. The floor pan looks super good back there, I think. Did you show them the holes that we drilled?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. So now all we got to do, the only other, man, I'm going the wrong way with the hood. Helps to go the right way. There we go. The only thing else we got to do is once we get it kind of tacked up, we got to show them here. See how this is uneven. We just got to beat this down with a hammer to get it to fit nice. Yeah, you can do it, I guess. We got to beat this down with a hammer to get that to fit there. And then everything there else should tack up pretty good. I'm just going to put several tacks on it down through there. And that should wrap up the 4-pan job after we get all that done. But right now, like I said, we're just gonna tack it up and then come back and we'll see if we got any more problems with it. Hopefully not, but if we do, we'll come back to you guys.
Okay, so we had a little bit of a distraction from doing the floor pan, but it's a good distraction. It's a little lightning bug. It's the best kind of bug. Oh,
It's on the camera.
Yeah, it's
He's
on the
camera. No. No, we gotta get it. I got him.
oh, Blake got it again.
Here he is.
Yep, here he is.
All right, bye, buddy. Come on, buddy, get off me. He still wants. There he goes.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
What call it's in the way?
Heat shield.
Yep.
Probably get it though.
So this is how you get the floor level whenever you're trying to weld.
I got that one. If you want to go ahead and do that.
Right here, yeah. Yeah, you can now.
I can move it.
No, it's okay. That's got the floor pretty good.
Did he move it direct now?
Yeah, that's what. Alright, so guys, we got the 4-pan here all tacked in the truck, looking super, super awesome. Told Abby earlier, I was like, man, this thing looks good. Because, you know, you work on something for a long time and don't hardly see no progress. And then you do something big and it's like, man, that looks good. But flip you guys around here. See the 4-pan back there. It's looking really, really good. We got to attach this on the sides here still. So the pan is just a tad bit flimsy. So what we're gonna probably do to fix that is when we flip the cab up to work on the bottom, I'm just gonna add a cross brace down the center of the pan. That should structure or put enough structure to it to where it doesn't feel as flimsy there. But so like I said, so now what we gotta focus on now is from here to the door here, and then all the way to the back of the cab and then across the back of the cab. That'll be what's next. So yeah, guys, we're fixing to probably get to cutting on that, but not tonight. It'll be another night because it's already late out here. Because fabrication stuff like this takes a long time to do. If you guys didn't know that, we can't hardly get much done. It feels like, but yeah. So you got anything to say, Abby?
I don't think so.
You don't not have nothing to say. We've worked all night.
I don't know. It looks really good.
Say. Yeah.
The new floor, it looks really good.
Yeah.
And we both stayed on it, and it held.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
Yeah.
Do you think it feels too flimsy?
Not on this side.
Not on that side. I don't think it. I mean, I think it just needs a little bit of a brace.
Yeah.
But which is not all the way welded in either. But the L that I made, so like if any of you guys were doing one of these, that L that I made across that back strip, that made it a lot better. The underpiece is a little big. It didn't need to be as big as I made it, but it's okay because it's always better to be bigger than not big enough. So yeah, it worked really good. I do have just like a few fitment issues, like what's right there. Got a pretty big gap. That one over there is pretty good. And then I've got some like gaps over here and stuff. But they can all be tidied up whenever we get to moving on to the next thing. I don't know if I showed you guys how I'm gonna do these corners here or not. I'll watch back through my replays to see if I told you guys that or not. If not, I'll just explain it later when we get to it. But for tonight, guys, we're going in for the night. So we'll see you guys out here in a day or so. See you.
Bye.
Alright, guys, so we're back out here in the garage. We're in Rusty. Like I said, the next thing we're going to tackle is the side pieces here. So I'm going to do this side over here first. And I've got my cut line marked out here. And my idea for this here is I'm just going to make this come straight over and attach to the door here. And then attach her straight to the 4-pan here. And then in the back here, I'm gonna just cut all this here off, make this square to here, and make a square down. So that way it kind of simplifies things up, because I don't have no way to really make those bends and stuff. So that right there is just gonna simplify it down for me. So I'm fixing to cut this here out, and then once I get it cut out, we'll be figuring up measurements and everything for what we need, guys. But like I said, I'm gonna cut this out real quick, and then I'll be back. All right, so I almost got ahead of myself and forgot to film what I was doing here, but I got it all cut out here around through there and ground down, and I already got one piece already made up, and I was about to weld it in, and I was like, oh man, I gotta make my video. So I forgot about you guys, I'm sorry. But so yeah, I've got all this here cut out and ground down, and then I got my piece here, the first one here. Still doing just a little bit of fitment up to this here. This piece, you know, just, you know, go like right there. Looks a lot better than like rust everywhere right now. So also painted what was back there with that Krylon Tough Coat paint that I've been using the whole build series. I hope it works. Looks like it does, so it's good. So now I'm going to continue to fit this here up. I just cut one piece. I'm just going to do these like 1 section, 2 section, 3 section. So just, yeah, so I'm just going to do them like 1 section at a time there, breaking it up like that. I think it'll make my pieces easier to do. It's just what I think. If you guys are doing it and you think something different, just by all means do it some way different. I'm learning too. But like I said, I'm gonna weld this here, or finish fitting it, and then I'm gonna tack it in, and then I'll be moving on to the, you know, the stage 2, so to speak. So yeah. Alright guys, so we got this piece here put in there. It looks really, really nice. So now, like I said, I'm just gonna be moving back here. I left this here long, so that way it kind of matches up here to the 4-pan, so that way I have a good point to come up with there. And then I'm just gonna make this piece here come out 1.5 inches here, and then run it up through here wherever it has to lay there, and then make this piece here, you know, lay along this back wall, and then come up however tall I make it here. Just whatever this line here is how tall I'm gonna make it. And then yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna build up and up here, and then we'll put this and this piece here after we get these 2 pieces here made. All right, so I have got the next part done, the step 2. I've also changed how I'm doing it, because my dad made a very good point. If I do it the way I was gonna do it, which was make a box, it would not accept the factory door panels. So I'm making it here to where it will accept factory door panels. So all I did here was I just made it flush like that there. Looks pretty good still. And then I got my 3rd piece here that's just gonna, you know, lay in there kind of like that there. I've got both of those there made. I just got to tack that one there up, guys, and then this side over here will be done. And then we'll be heading over to the other side there and starting to cut. And so now we've got all this back here all fixed up here, and I also forgot that we got another small spot to fix right here. Just gonna do it the same way as like all that there, and then that'll actually get this whole entire side here done, guys. Also, the video here is kind of getting long, so I think I've decided that I'm going to break this up into 2 videos, guys. I'm going to make this video here finished after we get the other piece there cut and welded in. And then for next video, guys, we're going to be cutting off this entire back part of the cab here and fixing the dent here in the back of the cab. And then we'll be doing the same thing that we did over here. So all this to that side over there. So all of that, the back of the cab and the dent fixed there. That'll all be in next video, guys. So for now though, we still got to make this piece right here. I'm gonna get my piece of construction paper here. I promise it's not, I look like a little kid, I believe, with all my construction paper and stuff laying around, but it does help me out tremendously. We just put this up here, trace it out there, transfer our template from the paper to the metal, and then we cut it out, and it makes fitment a lot easier. So guys, if you're new to the channel and you've never seen me do this, this is how we make our body or the pieces that we cut and weld in. Get your construction paper. Makes it a lot easier. Like I said, you just put it up there, trace it out, and then transfer the template to the metal. Like I said, I learned that off a video. This guy was building some transmission tunnel for a bump side truck, and I was like, hey, that's an awesome idea. So I've used it ever since then. So there you go. Hope that helps somebody out there So yeah, guys, we're gonna be fixing start making this piece right here. Okay, guys, so now we have got everything over here on this side all finished up. So you guys can see here what I did there. Go all the way around. Looks good. Then we put the floor pan there in too. So that there is going to wrap up this video here today, guys. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you would, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And guys, we'll see y'all in the next video.